There we go. Because as you know, we will be providing a recording for all of you. Because some people were very keen to come and access this webinar, and they just couldn't get here because of the time. So we're very open. We let people watch the recording and everything. So that is absolutely fine. And should we kick off?
Let's get going.
I'll let you start.
Let's get going. And look, welcome everyone to becoming unstoppable on social. Now, we have got lots in store for you in the next hour. And the reality is that we have got, a whole number of people on the line. I think we had just under 100 people register. So I'm guessing that for many of you, being unstoppable on social is probably, on your minds right now. Now, some of you, probably no doubt, and I know from, seeing various people online and being, seeing your LinkedIn feeds and different things that many of you, are using social media. Some perhaps might be more inconsistent than you'd like to be. Certainly, I've just come off a call, and that was the case for this particular company. Some of you, many of you, will be, quite regular, and you would just love to have new ideas, because sometimes it's about coming up with those ideas, isn't it? And no doubt we will have some people that maybe you're not completely convinced that social media can have the impact that many people, probably including ourselves, can say. And also you're very mindful that it feels like it can be quite time consuming, and do you really need to do it? And then there are going to be other people who completely love social and enjoy it, quite happy to put the time in because they know it can work and it's delivering, and you're really up for it, but you would just again like to have more ideas and support, and just know that what you're doing, you're on the right lines, or are you missing out on anything? And to be honest, it really does not matter which of those you relate to, or if there's anything else, because by the end of this next hour, everybody will get an even deeper appreciation of the scale of the opportunity, as micro and small SME businesses that we all have, and the potential impact that social media can have for our businesses. So let's
to just share the screen.
That would be a really good idea, wouldn't it? That would be a super idea. I've been looking over there, not at the camera, so I thought I was looking at a slide. So I'm just going to click there and do share. And we are just going to do a quick double check. So I'm just going to click open the Q&A box. Would some lovely person just pop in the Q&A box and let us know that you can actually see our slides? Because the worst thing is for me to go chatting on and then suddenly say, oh, Sharon, what slide are you meant to be on right now? So yes, fantastic, everyone. That's great.
Fantastic.
That's lovely. Right. I will continue, and Denise can just keep an eye on that.
Yes.
So there's a huge opportunity here for us. Now, what do we plan to cover today? There are three key areas. Okay. The first one is, why? Let's just answer this question. Why is a strong and consistent being the operative word here, social media presence is critical, so that you can keep a full pipeline, for your current market. I think it's so important that, yes, you've got your existing, connections in LinkedIn, people in your database, and, it's great to be able to mine that. However, we always want to be thinking about building the pond that we're fishing in. And so we need to be visible in front of that audience, because we can't serve people if they don't know who we are. Now, the second thing is that, why might social media be the route to scaling for, solo, micro and small SME search owners? What makes us say that? Because that's a potentially, bold claim, as is the following one, which is it can happen in less than 20 minutes a day. And you might be thinking, yeah, right, Sharon. But let me kind of like share a little bit more about how that is possible. And I am then going to hand over to Denise, who will cover, the exact sort of social media content for you to be using. Plenty of ideas here around themes of content, ideas around design that, when you use this style of content, it we can guarantee that you'll deliver results. And we can say that because we've kind of like been in the recruitment market now for sort of 16 coming on 17 years. We've had an agency, we've been doing services for clients, so we have a really good handle on what works. Now, for those of you, many of you completely know that Denise and I, and we have quite a lot of new people online that maybe know a little bit less about us. So I am not going to read that. You can sort of read that for yourselves. But what I will say is that, towards the end, for those of you who obviously, want to know a little bit more about what we do, how we work with clients, we will share a little bit about that. And also, we have got a special offer. It's going to be free, and we'll say a little bit more, or actually you will say a little bit more about that at the end. So, hang on for that, because that possibly, could be something that you might want to take us up on. So let's kind of like get, into our conversation today. We are going to be covering a lot, please encourage you, take notes, however you want to take notes. And if you want to listen, please just listen, because you're going to get a copy of this recording anyway. Now, before we launch in, though, I want to start with what we call the recruitment, marketing and sales roadmap. Now, I want to share this because, when you're thinking about it, is definitely a photograph opportunity.
I put a link in, Sharon, so people can download it as well.
Right. Okay, that's fantastic. Now, when we're thinking about, content and social media, I guess it's natural that you might think that social media, as an element of that whole marketing mix, would naturally fit, in step 6 and step 7. Makes sense, doesn't it? Now, what if there is one thing that I would ask you to take away from today's session, and that is that actually social media can fit into 7 out of 10 of these stages, because the reality is that once we know who we want to target, who our ideal clients and candidates are, we can use social media to grab their attention and to draw them into the sales marketing pipeline. We can use social media to share case studies and testimonials that will help in the conversion stage. We can share social media in stage 9 as part of the customer experience. We can use it to ask for referrals. And as I say, there are 7 out of 10 stages you can use social media. It is a huge opportunity, and probably one that we really do underestimate. So that is the link, that you can download this particular slide from.
Or just paste it into Google, and literally it will download for you.
No opt-in required.
No email needed.
That's just like courtesy of ourselves. So that sets the scene. And if you are looking for a process to develop your marketing, then that is a roadmap that you absolutely can use. Now, coming back though to our first question, why is a strong and consistent social media presence so critical to keep your pipeline full in the current market? Because we are still operating in uncertain, quite challenging times. Now, something to remember is that this is kind of what we think of as that that classic buyer's cycle. Okay, so you have got clients that you are currently working with, and they're very aware of you. You're engaged in partnership working with them at the moment. There are clients that perhaps you haven't worked with for some time, and they engage with you, intermittently. And then there are an awful lot of companies who you're just not on their radar. They don't even know about you and your brand. And so what we need to do is, create awareness, both personal brand awareness, but awareness of your company, and connect through the right messaging with people that are ideal for you to work with, both clients and candidates. And then, the idea is that we nurture people through this buyer's cycle. Now, here's the key thing though, that you and I in our businesses, we have to remember that at any one time when we're doing our marketing, that only 3 to 7% of people are going to be ready to make a decision to work with us. Candidates, to work with you, to help you so that you help them find, their next role, and, the opposite for clients. And that might shock you that number is so low. But it does mean that, by my very simple mathematical brain, it means that 93% of people are not ready to buy. And the challenge is that we don't know where in this buying cycle those 93% of your potential clients and candidates, we don't know where they are. And so we need to kind of like do quite a bit of work to nurture them and to take them onto the next stage until they are at that point where they're ready to reach out and ask to have a conversation about your services, or from a candidate perspective, that they need some help to find a job. Now, what's interesting is, as we take those different audiences through these buyers cycles, those audiences will require a different number of touch points. And we've probably all seen the data, about, how many connections, touch points we need to have with someone in order to get them to buy, the classic data. But I thought this was interesting to share because you've all got, no doubt, in your LinkedIn connections, in your CRM systems, inactive customers. Now, they might only need a couple of, reach outs, a phone call, a message on LinkedIn, an email to just get them more active so you're back on their radar. Now, someone that's just warm, that maybe you haven't worked with before, they're probably going to need more touches, and that could be 5 to 12. And this data has come from a great book called Fanatical Prospecting, written by Jeb Blount. Now, he goes on to say, though, that if there are people that are just coming into the top of this buy cycle, they are going to need much more connection from you and I. And, you can see there 5 to 20 touches. And if we're talking about completely cold prospects, well, then it's even more. Now, the beauty of social media and how you can leverage it is, if you imagine, these bottom two audiences, just for example, the thought that it is going to take me ages to get to 20 touch points with somebody, and 50, well, crikey Moses, I might as well not bother. That would be a natural reaction. However, if you are leveraging social media and the various channels, and people, you're connected to people, they're following you, they're following your company page, as they are seeing your content, that is classed as a connection. You drop them a message on Facebook, you go and you like or you comment a piece of their content, you put a phone call in, that actually you can start notching up those touch points a lot quicker than we were ever able to do before we had this amazing opportunity with social media. So, it's just kind of like, it's just another reason why it is, as certainly a strategy to be leveraging, because the reality is that whether you are working with someone at the moment, whether someone is at the top of that buyer cycle, the reality is to nurture them to the point of where they're going to work with you on a consistent basis. You need to keep front of mind. And I think, something that when we are working with clients, it's interesting, one of the comments that they make in the early days. So of course they come to us because they want to get themselves out in front of a bigger, wider audience. They want to build their brand. They want to build lead generation systems and a whole variety of other things. But when they start working with us, a frequent comment is, "Oh, I'm really surprised. It's amazing how, people that I worked with X number of years ago, have got back in touch. They're commenting on my content, or actually they want to have a conversation." And so, that audience that they are familiar with, but perhaps that relationship's just cooled off because they've just not been in touch. Suddenly, you're front of mind again. You are back on their radar and they want to engage. So it's almost like that low-hanging fruit that you are absolutely able to leverage. So this is not just about new people. We can really leverage your database. And sorry, I was just getting ahead of myself there in my excitement there. And do you want to just kind of sort of say something very quickly about
I was going to say very briefly? Steve's a client of ours over in Australia. Been working with him for about 4 years now, and one of the things that he said is he was very committed, very action taker, knew it was going to work. And I think one of the first things he said to us is, "I can't believe how many people are coming back to me." He said, I hadn't realized how little I was posting. And of course, now suddenly and we probably all experienced that. We've not heard from somebody for a while. And then someone go, "Oh, I just saw a post from them on LinkedIn." They are still going. And I think that was something that really surprised Steve. And I always notice, because obviously there's a time difference, that when I get online on Monday morning, I can always see all of Steve's posts that were like posted 12 hours before. And he always kickstarts the week. But I think it's something to bear in mind that social media isn't just about new business. It will actually resurrect some of the older business that you've forgotten about or, hadn't been in contact with. So.
And because you've got some of those historical relationships, even though they've cooled off, they are much easier to resurrect as well. So, now if you are like me and you like a little bit of data, and if you're not a big data buff, I'll keep this brief. I wanted to share this because the potential here is huge. So, bear in mind, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Now, 4 billion people, believe it or not, have a social media account of some description. And what I've done here is I've just given you an example of the different channels, the global users, and then we split it, between the US and the UK, which is where we, have the majority of our clients. We do have clients in Australia and the Middle East and stuff, but mainly in these two markets. And you can see, look, in the UK, our population is 67 million, and yet we've got 37 million. We've got over half our population on LinkedIn. And of course, that is kind of one of the major platforms for our industry. So, it is a huge opportunity. And I think the thing that we probably don't appreciate is that not only the scale of the opportunity huge, but social, getting good at social media is one of the most cost-effective strategies that you can have, because you can use that strategy for all the different segments of your audience. And you can use it through so much of the marketing roadmap, marketing and sales roadmap as well. So we are in danger of pigeonholing it for one thing, brand awareness, let's say, but the scale of this opportunity is so much greater. So why then would I say that social is a route to scaling for whether you're solo, micro, or small SME search owners? Well, the reality here is that it hasn't been the easiest 4+ years, has it? COVID seems so long ago in some ways and not in others, but the impact of COVID and how that changed society and individuals, we can't deny the dramatic changes that we've experienced. And, as humans, we desire so much more connection now than we ever did before. And, when you look at some of the research, the first 6 months of that whole COVID experience that we all went through, this scale of advancement in technology was just on a level, that some of the advancements that we made, had COVID not happened, it would have taken 5 years for those developments to become a reality. Now, what that has meant, though, the speed of those developments and innovation, is that technology allows businesses like ours to compete in the market against much larger organizations in a way that, it would have taken another 5 years for that to happen. Now, when we talk to our clients, something that, we frequently hear is that, we have clients that work with a whole range of different companies, SMEs, through to large corporates. And it's interesting because large corporates actually like working with smaller, more boutique recruitment companies for a number of reasons. One, they see them as, incredibly experienced people with a huge amount of knowledge, an in-depth understanding of the marketplace and the candidate base, and they deliver a fantastic service. And so that becomes incredibly attractive to larger organizations. And the beauty is that, as, solo, micro, small SME businesses, we can market ourselves in a way where we can compete with, bigger agencies and much bigger brands, because technology allows us to do that one-to-many marketing on a scale that, we just haven't been able to do before. So, if you are looking at really investing and up-leveling what you are doing on social media to really start driving your business in a new direction, then it makes sense, doesn't it, to have some goals. So, drive people to connect with you and your personal brand. Sometimes we see people who create great company branding content, but perhaps, hold back from sharing more about themselves. And remember, we are in a time where we want to connect with people. And I don't mean that you have to wear your heart on your sleeves either. There's lots of different ways that you can brand yourself personally. But, do make sure that you've got a goal to drive both, not one or the other. A goal is about pulling people through that buyer's cycle. And it's through that we can develop, the leads, both client and candidates. And of course, organizations will be attracted to you because you have knowledge, experience, and expertise that they don't have. When you are creating content that demonstrates and shares the depth of your knowledge and expertise, the depth of what is involved in the recruitment process, the lens that you go to do and implement the service that you offer, what you will find is that actually the reader, your client, a potential client, when they realize the scale of everything that's really involved, they don't want to do that. Not every organization wants to have an internal TA team. And even when they do have an internal TA team, there's often a recognition that, well, in our TA team, we do X, Y, Z, but I hadn't appreciated that actually, all this can happen as well. So it's about, creating that authority, content, and position yourself with a certain tone of voice that communicates what you can do. When you're sharing that content, of course, the key thing is we might meet people on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, but we need to pull them off those channels and back to your website, because your website's an asset that you own. We don't own these other social channels, do we? But we do own your website, and that's a huge asset. And you want people on your website, because that's where we can kind of like really start engaging with people. Offer them reports that they can download, and a whole variety of other things as well. So it's key to add value. So if we're thinking about some good practice, add value, share content. You can do webinars that are training sessions. You can do a podcast that shares great advice, that interviews, other people in your market that your clients and candidates can learn from. So add value, have that as a bedrock on which you do your marketing. Yes, branding from both perspectives are absolutely key. And you're going to do that through content. Okay. Now, this last one is, I guess, the critical thing, consistency. Because generally, I've literally just jumped off a call with, a couple of business owners, and, the frustration of that inconsistency, they were just chatting about that and the impact that that's having. So being consistent, being front of mind on a consistent basis, is going to be critical to really leveraging social media, because you don't want your audience to experience you being there for a couple of months and then suddenly you disappear. And then you're back on the radar. It's kind of like jarring for them. And of course, when you're not there, somebody else is going to be front of mind. And that's not really what you want for you and your brand. So last little thing then before I hand over to Denise is, if you haven't claimed all social channels relevant, TikTok might be one of them, then even if you're not going to be active straight away on it, go and claim that channel. Now, I'm not going to launch into a conversation about phishing, save you from that, but I will kind of like just use a fishing line as an analogy. And so, it's kind of like thinking, look, if we're just casting one line out into the river or the pond, we'll have one opportunity potentially to draw the fish to that line. If we've got an array of fishing lines out, we increase the opportunity. And so if you are present on, a broad number of channels where your market, will be sitting, it increases the opportunity to get content in front of their eyes, make an impact, make an impression, educate them, add value, and pull them off that channel back to your website.
I think the other thing as well, as Sharon mentioned before, about touch points, when we were talking about the buyer's cycle, it's just like, I don't know if you've ever had that experience of you see an advert on TV and then you think, I need to think about that. They're everywhere. They must be good. And I think it's important, again, because people see you as a reputable, credible brand. It really does cement your credibility with people as well. They say, oh, they're actually on Facebook. Oh yeah, my God, I've seen them on Instagram as well. So I think that is something to always remember. And of course, there's many ways that you can use social media and automate different things. So you've always got that presence.
So that's great. Thank you. And so once we've claimed our channels, I'm just going to click on there. Just last couple of things really about best practice before I hand over to Denise. Couple of things. It's not just about posting. It's about commenting, sharing, liking. And can I just add a bit of a caveat here? Because it is so easy to sort of get caught up on the number of likes that we've got and everything. And you just bear in mind that we are working in a sector where, candidates aren't necessarily going to want to be liking lots of different recruitment companies' content, because what's their boss and their colleagues going to think? So it's not quite as normal in our industry. What is important, though, is that, look at the impressions that your post and content is getting. And if you're getting great impressions on certain kinds of content, go and create more along those topic areas. Test and measure, not just your content, test the different times of posting. When do you tend to get more visibility? excuse me. And of course, use images. Now, I really think it's great that over the years, more and more recruitment companies have really got themselves and thrown themselves into marketing. You think about branding. And here's the thing. If everything you're posting is, in a branded template, when that's in your channel and somebody's looking at that, it can appear very, very samey. And so the impact is that your content in your posts are not grabbing people's attention in the same way. So think about the imagery that you use, and don't always have everything in a branded template. Mix it up. Get more attention grabbing kind of imagery. And also make sure that you are sharing, because this still sometimes doesn't happen, share down your personal and your company profiles and involve your team. Get your team sharing your content. And also make sure that you've got a variety of content. Dee's going to talk more about this, and that you're not over pitching. So I think it's almost over to you. This is my last one. So final thing then is, we're often asked, do we automate or do we go manual? And for us, really, our message would be a blend of both. If we measure our content, we can get more impressions on some of our automated content than some of our manual content. Some of our personal branding manual content, we get some fantastic views on. And so it really is a blend. The key, I think, here is when you use automation, it will allow you to develop that consistency. If you're only relying on manual, what happens as soon as the jobs start kind of like, flowing and increasing, and you're back on the tools, then you haven't got quite as much time. And so you miss a day, and one day becomes two, becomes three. And then you lose that momentum and you lose that consistency. And that does begin to have an impact. So think both, a bit of both. Now, I'm going to hand over.
Great. So let's look at practicalities and, and how you can bring all this together. And we've talked about in less than 20 minutes a day. Of course, there's going to be some setup time, but it doesn't take as long as people sometimes think it's going to take. But really, you can move forward with this in a much faster than people appreciate. So this is one of those photograph moments. And this is one of our frameworks. We talked about the fact that we're going to share some frameworks with you, make things easier. Very easy to remember. It's the 3 Ps. Now, Sharon alluded to the fact that we had an agency. I know there's a couple of people, and Julia, I don't know if you're online or not, but you'll remember us from back in the day. And we've had a marketing agent. So we have written content for, in fact, I think we were having a conversation with Sarah before we started about who we've written content for in the past. So we're both quite data freaks as well, science background. So we like to test and measure everything. And we have looked at what is the content that works the best for our recruitment clients. And there are 3 styles and types of content. And they are personal and company branding. Makes obviously logical. Personal branding, really, really popular at the moment. I'm going to come on to that. There's positioning and there's promotional. Now, over the next few slides, I'm going to share multiple examples of these and how they work, so you get a real sense of them. Now, where sometimes people go wrong on social media is they logically, and in fact, we were having a conversation with one of our clients earlier today. They want all promotional. They want jobs. They want to be telling people how good they are, which of course we want to do. Of course we want to do that. But in today's market, we're with some very discerning buyers now. So we need to mix things up. And one of the things about social media is it anoints you with some credibility. If you're posting online and people are looking at your content, they're going to get a sense about you, who you are, and whether you're the person they want to work with. So personal company branding, you've seen personal branding posts. I wrote a post this morning. I've written several recently. We're actually doing a boot camp for our Superfast Circle clients. We're teaching them all about personal branding. It's been happening since end of December. I think we started it, didn't we?
Yes, we did, yeah.
So I'm going to share some examples of personal company branding. Then we've got positioning content. And these are where you're letting people know you know your stuff when it comes to hiring, when it comes to talent pipelines, when it comes to career development. And that's where you're sharing blogs and snippets, you're sharing videos, all the things that will make an impact for your market and it's going to help your market. And at the same time, it positions you. Now, obviously, you've got promotional content. Logically, of course, you're going to be sharing your jobs. But also you can start doing case studies, sharing your testimonials, sharing, would you like to work with me? And these are the reasons why I can help you. So this is having a blend of this will work well, because what it does for you is it creates the connections with people. So of course you're promoting yourself, but you're also positioning yourself as well about you, who you are, and how you can help people. So I hope you've all got a photograph of that. Let me know at the end if you've not. So what I want to do is give you some examples of the different sort of things that you can do in each sector. So obviously, logically, this is promotional. On the left-hand side, we've got obviously one of our clients. It's a job role. They posted a job role. Obviously, depending whether you are retained, whatever you're doing, you still need to have your jobs out there and promoted on social media. And then we've got, I'm not sure if Louise is online, actually. I think she wanted to jump online. Louise is a client of ours, been working with her for several years, brilliant recruiter. And she wasn't really sharing with people how long she'd been in the market, her expertise, placement ratios or anything like that. So you just imagine you're a candidate or a client. And there's lots of I know there's lots of new startups. There might even be some startups on here tonight. And, suddenly you see that coming past, you think, so this person's got 14 years experience. And we all know in uncertain times, we tend to, the way our brains are wired, we go for certainty. So we go for people with that experience. And then here we've got one of our other clients sharing a testimonial. All of these are done in Canva, by the way, really easy to do. He shared a testimonial from Dee, one of his clients. I think it's a client, actually. I think he might have actually built Dee's team. I'm not sure on that one. And again, it's that this is actually known as the horse's mouth strategy. I know. But basically what we're talking about here is there's nothing better than having somebody else promote you. So testimonials, really easy to do. I'll give you some ideas on that as well as we move on. So that's the, promotional themes, some ideas there for you. Let's look at positioning. Now, why would I be sharing a picture of two fictional characters, Superman and Superwoman? I think they're just really a metaphor for people that we all want a Superman or Superwoman or Wonder Woman in our life that can give us some direction, that actually understands the market, that understands what's the best next move for me. And they're going to give you valued, honest advice. And the great thing about positioning is it's really easy to do for solo, micro, small companies. This is where you can actually compete now as well. And you do this through using value-added content. Shan was just sharing that she was talking with a recruiter earlier. And they get that the value-added content is something they need to be doing more of. They're just not finding the time to do it. We'll tell you how you can do that later. But so it's thinking about, sharing some content for people that helps people. Many people on here, I'm sure, have listened to our podcast and you found that useful. And you will have read blogs. So it makes a difference. You're on this webinar because you know that we will always deliver high value content as well. The other thing to do is people see you as a trusted advisor. And so they want advice. And we've got one of our clients over in Yorkshire. They've been around for many, many years. And their MD is perceived as the person. If you want to know what's going on in Leeds, you need to speak to her. And that makes a difference because also if you want to know what's going on in the area, you also might want to know about, I've got these new team members. I'm wanting to build this team. Could you help me? Or do you know somebody that can help me? So you can see their positioning, how positioning makes a difference for people. And then let's look at, personal branding, company branding. Obviously, it's important to have your company brand out there because people make judgments on us, whether we like it or not. And I think in today's market, people have a lot more choice. And so often a buying decision is based on values. I know Sharon will say to me, "Oh, I've seen this particular person about you. I wonder if we could get them to do whatever." And I go, "Oh, I'm not keen on them." And they're a bit sweary for me. And and this is just how we are as human beings. We decide, oh, well, I want to work with this person, or I don't want to work with this person, or oh, I've seen that person. Oh, that person's done some stuff for charity. Or they seem like, I think I'd like. I think they're the person for us. So this is just one of our clients. They do an awful lot for charity, actually. But I'm just showing you some fun examples. This was before Christmas. They posted it. Very quick and easy to do. We've all got an iPhone, our smartphone. They took a few pictures, they posted it. They've got lots of engagement on LinkedIn around it. But that is like talking about their. So this is somebody that took the Monday afternoon off with their team to play games. Now, I think, that's probably a really good employer. They've obviously got a good culture. Maybe they're somebody that I need to talk to. And then personal branding. That is important at the moment. And I know for many people, I've had a couple of people email me and say, oh, I'm just not so sure about personal branding. I don't want to be out there. And that is a choice for you, obviously. You've got to get your company brand out because you might not have a business if you don't do that. But you are really missing a trick. And I think it's one of the things that we tend to work with a lot of experienced people that are really, really good at what they do, but they don't get out there as much as they could. They don't like shouting about themselves. And I think when you've got your personal brand, it is important to get out in front of people so people can see you. People don't know who you are. They can't work with you. One of our clients actually shared something, and he doesn't post a lot. We're working with him because he's been doing the boot camp with us. And he shared about the fact that it was his 10-year anniversary in business. And he'd also got a picture of him and his son. And he was talking about the fact that the reason he started the business was he realized that he wasn't going to see his little boy grow up, and that really he needed to do something differently. And he got a great picture of him and his son. They were out. I'm not sure where they were actually. The McDonald's or something. I can't remember. But it got like thousands and thousands of views and impressions because people really got that, this guy has some strong values. That's the sort of person I want to work with. So think about that when you're with your themes as well. I'm sure for many of you, your minds are whizzing now and you're thinking, yeah, I get that. Let me just talk about, we know that recruiters love the tech stack. So let me just clarify some tech pieces that we'd suggest that you use that will help your situation. Canva, I'm sure many people on here use Canva. It's probably the best piece of software at the moment for design. We used to have Adobe. We actually got rid of it back end of last year, didn't we? Because we weren't using it. But I'd recommend to anybody here, go for the paid version. Canva Pro is better. You get more options. And I think one of the important things is, we live in a very visual society, that you can get all of your images from Canva. Please do not go and grab an image from Google thinking it'll be all right, because the image police will probably find you at some point and try and charge you for it. So Canva, brilliant. I love Canva. So many things that you can do with it now, and they're just getting better and better at what they do. Let's talk about social media management as well. Now, Sharon mentioned automation tools, really good to use automation tools. Some are paid, some are free. Of course, you can use Meta, Facebook. If you go into your Facebook business page and you're sharing, then you can, it will actually post to, and I don't know if any of you have got any Facebook groups, but if you go into Meta, you can post onto Instagram, and you can also post on Facebook, and you can time it. So you can do it that way. LinkedIn has a scheduling tool. So you'll notice when you go to post on LinkedIn, it has a little clock. When do you want to post this? So you can actually preload your content if you wanted to, if you didn't want to pay for an automation tool. Linktree is an interesting bit of kit. It is it's a tool where, and it's free, you can actually have multiple links displaying. So you could use that in your Facebook profile, in your Facebook page, and it'll say Linktree, whatever. So we have Linktree Superfast Recruitment. And people can click through to that and they can see, they could go and download a report, they can go to your blog, they can go to your jobs page. Well worth checking that out. Great for Instagram, because obviously in Instagram, you can't put a link in the body of your content, but you need to send people to your bio. And so that's how you can get away with it with Linktree. It works really well. When it comes to automation tools, there are so many on the market. I'm suggesting these to several of our clients use these. We use Meet Edgar. It is inexpensive compared to other products on the market. I know some people use there's a particular product that people use. It's probably 4 times more expensive than Meet Edgar. And I don't really think, I might get told off here, but somebody might shout at me and say, oh no, I think it's wonderful. But with Meet Edgar, and with SmarterQ, there's a couple of things that you can do with this software, which again, if you're a bit time poor, is amazing, because it gives you the ability to post from categories. So you could have a category that is, we've talked about our 3 Ps. So you could have the 3 Ps for clients and the 3 Ps for candidates. You could upload all your content and it will just keep sending it out. So you're always front of mind with people. Now, SmarterQ, I'm thinking I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Excuse me. SmarterQ does exactly the same thing. We're not aligned to either of these. We personally use Meet Edgar. A couple of our clients found SmarterQ because it's relatively new. I think they're a similar price. I think you can get it for like $25 a month, and then the upgraded version is something like $40 a month. Really inexpensive for what it does. So I really like SmarterQ. And of course, with Canva, you can actually use Canva as a distribution tool as well. So that's all the social media design and management. Really, really suggest that you do that. I want to give you some ideas of different social content to share. Lots of snippets from blogs. People think, oh, do memes really work? Memes work really, really well. And yes, you can use them on a professional platform as well, like LinkedIn. And one of the things I love about memes is they give an understanding of your values and what's important to you. And we were laughing the other day because we ran a session for our Superfast Circle clients last night. And I was talking about personal branding posts. And I was saying that I always get at least 1 post a year out about Dolly Parton because I'm a huge country music fan. And it's really interesting whenever our avatar often likes Dolly Parton, and most people, it's a great quote from her. And the number of sort of comments that I get and likes when I continually share it. Videos, I know some people freak out about doing videos. Please don't do that. You don't need to be professional and polished. You'll have seen Sharon and I on video on LinkedIn. We get great views, and people actually email us off the back of that. They went out of fashion around the time of COVID because I think everyone spent time on Zoom calls and everything like that. Whereas now they're back in fashion. And I'd really encourage you to do that, because if people can hear you, they can see you, you can have a deeper emotional connection with them. I know that might sound crazy, but it's about, people buy on emotion. They don't buy on logic. So if they can see that, I like to work with that person. They seem okay to me. Obviously, we talked about testimonials, case studies, report sign-up forms. Some of you may have downloaded a checklist. We've promoted the webinar through LinkedIn, through chat and Messenger, and some of you have signed up because of that. And again, that's through social. and you'll have seen images online, and you'll have made a decision to come along and join us today. There's the Hug a Dog Day, National Book Day. There's all of these things again that can impact people. And then of course your industry news, you can share that. So there is so much content that you can use and share that makes a huge impact for people. I'll go through these quite quickly because I'm conscious of everyone's time as well. Links to pages on your website, polls are massive on LinkedIn. And did you know that, of course, the people that vote, you could actually then just, send them a message if you're connected to them. We had one of our clients that had a career progression, and literally she got hundreds of votes, and she could go and connect with all those people. Happy days. You can start to get into a conversation. Obviously, you've got, self-promotion. You can repost other people's content. If you have a podcasting is probably an advanced strategy, much easier to do now than it used to be. But again, you could use that. Obviously, your community connections. One of our clients supports a local female rugby team, under 15s, I think it is. So there's lots of things that you could do and share on social that give a rounded, holistic view of you and your company. And it's really going to make you stand out, because the thing about this is, I know we all see lots of people posting on LinkedIn. There's not a lot of people that post on LinkedIn. There's a lot of recruiters that still do not post on LinkedIn consistently. So you can see all of the things that you can do. Here's something that works really well. What I'm doing today, if you're going out and visiting a client, or you've been talking to a candidate, really interesting that, you take a selfie, whether you like selfies or not. Unfortunately, guys, they do work. You take a picture of you're going into a hotel, or you're going into a coffee shop to meet somebody. That is an opportunity for you to get engaged with your audience. Your audience can say, oh, that could be me. It's the way that our brains work. We see things like that. Obviously, logically, you want to have jobs posted as well. So all of these different things. Let me show you some examples of these as we just come to the end. I don't know if we've got anybody on from Wales. I don't know whether was Keris on earlier or not. But
yes, it was. Yes,
Welsh cakes. Who knew Welsh cakes? I only discovered them last year. This was a personal branding post, and I made the link for people as well, and it was a bit more fun. Here's a post from our client, and very cleverly, they use a slightly different color to stand out on LinkedIn, because one of the things about Canva that's very clever is, and I don't know if Lorna's still online, I'm sure you'll agree with this, that you can upload your color palette. So you can actually use different colors, different fonts in Canva. It's a really good way to actually stand out as well. When Sharon was talking about how you stand out. Here we've got, when you think about your ESG policy. This is a client of ours, and they support a local school. Great picture that they used on social media. I mean, who doesn't like children smiling? Most of us, I think, enjoy seeing a child smiling and enjoying themselves. Another one of our clients here, I think this was a LinkedIn Live that he did, interviewing a CFO. And imagine if you are, in the finance sector, you think, well, this guy, places CFOs. I wonder if he can get me a job. So you can see all of the things here that you can do as well. Just some more examples. This is another one of our clients, visit our blog. This is again, value added, all positioning posts that make people stand out and can make you stand out, because what happens is constant drip, 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 and people will start to appreciate that you're the person that can help them as well. Now, this is, again, one of just some more examples of how you can use content and the imagery. And all of these images are created in Canva, by the way. This is one of our recruiters who's brilliant. She posts a lot of positive quotes. But this is really great. If plan A fails, remember that the 25 letters. I would pick up from that post that this person is a really go for it type of person, maybe that's the person I should be using to fill my roles. There's another one here on Facebook stories. One of our clients had posted there, and then we've got a client here that from the US, from Cara Lilia, and she was actually posted that she was attending an event. Now, this is really fascinating. Whenever you post that you're attending an event, people really enjoy it because they get that you're learning, they get that you're improving, and if you're at Rec Expo or anything like that, I don't know. I think is it next month or the month after? I can't remember.
I think we've answered, Wasim, in terms of Canva would be where you can create and you can do some automated posting from there, Wasim.
I don't know if it does automated as in will continually post. I'm not sure. Well, look, I'm conscious of we've just got a few minutes left. I want to tell you a little bit about what Sharon mentioned, Superfast Circle, but these are the takeaways for people. And please, you're getting a recording of this, and we've done this for a reason. We know some people are having a few challenges, a few struggles at the moment. So we want to make this as digestible and easy for people to listen to and watch as possible. Your current and future people are on social media. Don't think they're not. They're easy platforms to master and manage, and they are free. This will help pull people into the funnel. This will take people from unaware to aware for you, so you can see the impact that this can make. Watch this video again. Some of you might have taken notes already. Go back to the areas that you took notes about, because that's normally a sign from the brain that this is something I need to think about, and make an action plan. Start where you are. Good is good enough. It doesn't matter, yes, we post multiple times a day, but even if you just start and on top of your jobs, you decide, what, I'm going to post 3 times this week. I'm going to send some value-added content. I'm going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Start there and literally watch the difference that will make in your engagement. Use examples and ideas that we've shared, and you will be good to go. Now, some of the content, obviously, you've seen, we provide content in Superfast Circle. So let me just explain. There's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One is Superfast Circle, so you get an idea of who we are, what we do, and how it might help you, and if it possibly could be for you. We've also got, as Sharon said, we've got a special bonus, which is a special free offer, which is free. And that's where we will carry out a social media audit of your social media. Now, it doesn't matter if you're only posting once or twice a week. It's about us understanding your market and getting to know that. But let me tell you a little bit about Superfast Circle, what it is, and how it works. So this is basically a program that's just recruiters in this program. And our program is small. We like to keep it small because we like to work very closely with people. And we work with solo, micro, and small SMEs. And we provide consultancy, we provide training, we provide direction, we help our clients get really clear on what are their next steps. And it's quite unique in the way that we do it, because we have a done with you service. We understand that a lot of smaller companies, they cannot afford to go and work with a massive agency and be paying thousands of pounds a month. So we have designed this program to work for smaller organizations, for smaller companies. So they've got the opportunity to be there and be out in front of their market. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you what's involved. And whilst you're reading this, let me just talk through how that might impact you. So excuse me looking on the side, just to remember, because there's a lot of things on here. So what you get is you get 2 virtual marketing directors, which is Sharon and I. Now, most people, if you were paying us to a salary because of our level of experience, you probably wouldn't have much change out of 90 grand each. which I don't think many people on this call would want to be paying. But you get direct access to us. So many people will come to us and they'll say, but I don't know what to do, Denise. I don't know what I don't know. And that's where we help, because we have worked with so many different companies in so many different sectors. We know what works in different sectors, and we will guide you. We will help you. And we do that in multiple ways. I'll explain the fact that we actually do some one-to-one work with you. But every week we have Q&A calls. We call them office hours. We're just online. You can come online, and they're in every time zone. So I know we've got people from the US here as well, that you can, there will always be a time that matches for you. I'm an experienced copywriter. I've been writing copy and been involved in communications for 20 years. It's probably more than that, but let's just go for 20. All the content that you get, all the social media content, all the marketing content and collateral that we provide and give people in Superfast Circle, that you literally just need to tweak parts of it. I write all of that, so I'm involved in that. The training we have, you've got a question, we've probably got a training video on it. We have hundreds of training videos on our platform that you can access. Any questions at all about marketing. We've shared with you several frameworks today. We have a lot more than that, because frameworks help you to accelerate the process, and you actually can do things much faster. What we also do is we have a suite of marketing campaigns, email campaigns, messenger campaigns, all designed to work. In fact, when you join Superfast Circle, I personally jump online with you and we alter and tweak one of the first campaigns that for a lot of people actually get some results within the first, literally, depending on how fast they get it out, but within the first week of being. If I miss anything, Sharon, just jump in and
no, you're fine, good.
And say. You get a monthly training as well. So in addition to our training portal, you get live training. At the moment, our guys are getting a personal branding boot camp that we're running, and we're doing it throughout the month of January. That's all part of the membership. We throw lots of additional content in for people. That's what we're doing this month. Every year we run 2 events. One is virtual and one is physical, and they're included in the price of your membership, because this is a community. And as I said, we're very hands-on with our people, and it's a small group of people. There'll never be more than 100 companies working with us, because we like to work closely with people. So we just couldn't facilitate that otherwise. We've got a guy called Jason who does our tech. He's a coach, and he will jump online twice a month, and he's a bit of a Canva expert. So you got stuck on that. Jason's there to help you. You get one-to-one time with Sharon and I. And I think it's important to remember that, we start with this 90-day success plan. And in other programs, you work with different coaches. With our program, the way we design it is you only work with us. So it's going to be Sharon on a call with you, or it's going to be me, or often both of us on a call with you. So you get to work with us. There's not somebody else that suddenly appears that you work with. ROI is different. We put 90 days there. Generally, it's probably about 30, but it depends what your ROI is. Your ROI could be, I'd like to have a marketing director, but I can't afford one. I'd like someone to tell me what to do. And that we will tell you what to do. We work closely with people, and we do push you. So, this program isn't for you if you just want to hang back and you just think, I can just sit here and everything will happen. We will push you, but then also you're going to get the results because we push you as well. So
just check this. You carry on.
Yeah. That's okay. And we have clients that basically make placements within the first week when they've been with us, because of the marketing campaigns that they run. So let me just share a little bit more with you here. This is the 90-day system. You can just see we go through this over 90 days. We start off with understanding what your goals are, how we can help you. Then we look at, how do we get some quick wins for you? Then you look at how to leverage all the SFC collateral, and we basically go through it. We actually have designed a unique program called the Edge, because a lot of the people that we work with are really, really experienced. And because they're experienced, sometimes they don't promote themselves as well as they could. So that's what we do here. We actually work with people we help them develop their edge and communicate that out. So that's why we look at, how we communicate your brand and your messaging. And we work with you on that. That is our skill area. That is our area of expertise. This is just a snapshot from the library that you will get access to, which has everything in. If any of you are doing retained, we have a retained special email campaign. We have a retained report that you can get access to, and you get access to these things because you're part of the program. This is just an example. This is one of our clients, Lilia, that we were chatting to. We have a private podcast as well. So all of our training, we appreciate you're on the go, you're working hard, you don't always have the time to sit, though, there are ways to make time. We do a whole section on productivity for people as well. Private podcast. This is one of the campaigns. This was Sharon and I. We were actually going through a campaign with someone and tweaking it. And this was our live event. So we ran a live event. Where was it? It was in the Midlands somewhere. I can't remember. Meridian. Around Solihull. Yeah. And that was physically recorded. So whenever we do our events, because we know that sometimes we have our clients in the US don't always have the time to fly over for a 2-day event. So everything's recorded for them as well. And you can gain access to that as well. And, this is a community. It's a community of people supporting one another as well. So like today yesterday we had office hours. We were online, people come and talk to us, and we have different themes each month. So this month is like getting your priorities. These were just a group of people at the event that we had in November. That's not everyone comes to our events because they can't always all come, but that just shows you many of the clients that work with us who were at our event. So for those of you, still quite a lot of people online, just want to talk to you about this free offer, the special offer that's free for you. And this is where, if you would like us to do a social media audit for you, we've got 15 slots available. The reason there's only 15 is that obviously we're busy. And this isn't you turning up on a call and us selling you to come and work with us. We're actually some work involved in it for us. So if you're interested, then I would, because these go quite quickly. We've done it. We did this the first time last year and it went really well. People really enjoyed it. And what we'll do is, if you book a call with us, and in you can either send Sharon an email, or you can through to superfastrecruitment.co.uk/call, and just let us know that you want to do the social media audit. Check if you're not connected to us on LinkedIn, connect with us, because then what we will do is we will look at your website. We will look at your social media channels. So we'll need your other handles, your Instagram, your Facebook. If you haven't got them, that's fine. And then we can do some pre-work. And then when you jump on the call, we can go through it with you, and we can give you some ideas. And, for some of you, possibly working with us might be an option. For others, it might not be. But, that's fine. We're all working sales. This is a conversation that we have. We may or may not be for you. You may or may not be for us. We might not be able to help you. But unless we have a conversation, we don't know that. But at least you'll go away with some ideas on how to improve your social media. So any questions at all, please post them in. You're welcome. Thanks, Diane.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Wasim. Hopefully that was helpful. I know that there's a couple of questions here that we've managed to answer in the content. So
Helen's just said here about should I post about candidate? I'm in a candidate-driven market. Should I put? You just scroll down there.
sorry.
Yeah, of course you can book a call, Sarah. Just either drop Sharon an email, and we'll get you sorted out and in the diary, of course. Yeah, Helen was asking about should I post, I'm in a candidate short market. This is a top tip. Always make sure that you post content for both candidates and clients. Let's be honest, we work in recruitment. We know markets flip and flop. And clients are impressed when they see you posting candidate content. Candidates are impressed when they see you posting client content, because it really does give you that whole holistic, this is who I am. This is how I can help you. So
the question here sort of from Lucy about manual versus automation on social media, and what are the negative potential impact of only doing automation?
I've not, to be honest, I've not seen a lot, because now, of course, you can schedule posts on LinkedIn. I guess it's just being to be honest, there isn't a lot with automation. Sometimes it's good to do just in time posting. It doesn't really affect the amount of impressions that you get. So that's something I would say.
I think it's just that let's say, Lucy, that if you're going out to an event, it's that sort of like spontaneous in the moment. And so, if you were posting something,
of course,
that obviously doesn't necessarily reflect the time of day, that it might then come out from an automated point of view. So I think there is that element of spontaneity, and also if I think events are a great example of that.
Yeah. But there's no real negatives for the amount of views you get. Bizarrely, we've shared things that have been automated and they've got more views, Lucy, afterwards, the second time that we've done them. The other thing that is useful for people is that, and just for those of you still online, just to take this away, is that just because you've got a piece of content, you can share it multiple times, because people don't remember. And you can share it time and time again. Another thing that people forget is that, the content that you share on social media, you can actually share in your email. You can share the same content on LinkedIn as Facebook. Don't worry about having something different on each platform. You're not a corporate. You don't have a marketing team of 3 or 4 that can do that. You're a small, we follow a particular lady online. She turns over something like 25 million. She shares exactly the same thing down her LinkedIn, Facebook, and the emails that we get. It's not made us think any less of her, and we still work with her. So you can see the opportunity for that. So any more questions as well? Someone said about memes, and that are memes still professional? Yes, they are. And you can do some really good ones on Canva. It depends, it depends on your tone of voice as well. I've talked about swearing before, but I don't want anyone to think I'm a prude, but, it depends on your tone of voice in your market. Very sweary ones, they don't necessarily. Just think about, how will my market react to that?
Yeah, well, I think there's some good questions there. Thank you to everyone for staying on. Hope you got your questions answered. And as Denise mentioned, there's several people here that have obviously kind of like headed over and to book a call, but please make the most of those 15 slots. And it's been great spending some time with you.
I'll send an email out tomorrow, which will have the link in, and it's on a private page on our website, so you'll be able to watch the recording there as well. So
So thank you, everyone. Hopefully that has inspired you to take your social media onto the next level, so that you can become unstoppable. So have a great evening, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon.
All right then. Take
Bye
care,
for now.
guys. Bye. Bye.